When I was on the phone and I heard it, I screamed. I said, no, 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 he did it, he did it.
That is Amber telling you the exact second she heard the man she gave 9 years to take himself out of this world, and she heard it, all of it, through the phone.
I already know y'all screen recording me, I don't care. But I did everything I could. That's all I can say. I did everything I could. He could not take the breakup.
She was the one left standing, and the internet still put the whole thing on her back. But before we get into her story and everything that led up to that call, we have to start somewhere else, because there is another story that shows you exactly how this pattern runs when nobody steps in. We start with a girl who made her whole living off making other people feel beautiful, which is why what happened to her hit so many people so hard.
About 100 people showed up here to Mitchell Moore Park in Pompano Beach for this memorial. These candles that you see behind me, just part of what went down in this park. The victim, we know, she was in a tumultuous relationship with a man who has a history of domestic violence.
Known for the different wigs she would wear, this is Maurice Harrison, aka Girl Alala.
I look so motherfucker girl la la la. Clear my set. Wait, because the body surfing already in the gym. Please don't play with me, thank you. So lately I've been doing this thing and waking up and getting out of the house. So today I'm at LA Fitness and your girl's gonna get there. So my body, right? She's gonna get right. So I'm in the gym. It's always that.
Her real name was Maurice Jaden Harrison, a 21-year-old transgender woman and hairstylist out of Pompano Beach, Florida, but nobody online called her that. To a few 100,000 people, she was just Girl Alala, and Girl Alala did wigs. She called herself a wig influencer, and the name fit because her whole page was built around loud, colorful installs, rainbow blends, neon colors, and updos that people saved and sent to their own stylists. Depending on which report you read, her TikTok sat somewhere between 235,000 and 263,000 followers, with about 41,000 more over on Instagram. What made people stay was not really the hair though, it was her personality. She would post a tutorial, then turn around and post a skit, then turn around and just talk to the camera about her life like the phone was her best friend. And that mix of funny and honest is what built the community around her. Reports described her as energetic and bold with a bright smile that fans held onto, and even when she was being funny about something serious, people leaned in. Before we get into what happened to her, you should understand what she actually built because it makes the ending worse. She was not somebody who got famous off a dance or a lucky sound. She was a working stylist first. She operated out of Pompano Beach doing wigs professionally, and the content came second, built off the skills she already had. People sent her money for installs and brands started reaching out. Reports describe her collaborating with beauty companies and using her platform to push other young stylists forward. She was 21 years old and already running a business off her own hands. She was also doing something harder than that. Her content regularly touched on her journey as a transgender woman navigating fame, relationships, and self-expression, and that openness is a big part of why the community around her felt so protective.
Oh, shit. Woo. Wait, hold on. What you mean I'm gonna feel it?
When I start to come here and under here, you're gonna feel it, and you might hear a little snap, crackle,
Well,
pop.
what you mean? Because that's what I got the number cream for.
I know, but remember when I hit right here, you felt it? Watch, you want me to do a test spot?
No.
That's where your core is.
Oh, hold on. Hold the hell on. Hold on. You ready?
You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Whoa, shit. Holy moly. Smoly donut
Because
shop.
that's where your
Baby,
hairs are.
Okay,
Then
come
come
on.
back to the forehead.
Yeah, go back there. Do what spin the block for me. Okay, come on. Yeah. Yeah, get all that. I need to be like pussy galore. Get all of that.
For a lot of young trans people watching, she was proof that you could be loud, be funny, be fully yourself, and still get your money. Even her X account, small compared to the others at around 5,000 followers, was part of that same daily conversation with her people. That is the thing you have to understand before we go any further, because it is going to matter later. Girlalala talked about her real life on camera, the ugly parts and even the parts she was trying to laugh off. Here she is, casually letting her whole following know she is on her way to turn herself in.
Why I'm going to jail? If I tell y'all one more time why I'm going to jail, I did fucking fraud. That's why I'm going to jail.
And then she kept the camera rolling on the ride there, still joking with her people like she was on her way to a shoot instead of a booking.
Yeah, we're going to the station right now. Ooh, I can't believe y'all really drove 5 hours for a bad bitch like me.
I can't believe it either.
Yes, y'all could have at least waited till my hair was done. Like, oh my God.
That was her personality in a nutshell, and it's also the exact reason so many people missed what else she was telling them. Now let's talk about the man in this story. His name is Shanoid White Jr., 25 years old, a Dillard High School alumnus from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and a former defensive lineman on Bethune-Cookman University's football roster back in 2019. On paper, that's a regular resume. College ball, hometown kid, nothing that screams danger to a stranger scrolling past. But the people around Girlalala were not strangers, and they had things to say. The two of them had been together for several years, with some accounts putting it as high as 7, which would mean it started when she was still in her mid-teens. 7 years is a long time to build a life around somebody, and it's also a long time for a pattern to set in.
We are simple and we are complex. We can be silent and we can be loud. We may not always know the answers. We may not always make the perfect decision, but we always have each other. There's no one else I'd rather share my life with than you. Happy Valentine's Day. Alright, shit. How you doing, twin?
Okay. So that's it, y'all. Y'all kept asking, y'all want to see?
That's how you get it off the bone. Straight off.
Okay. And I'm actually like really happy, y'all, but I can't really show it because I'm a person like I can be really happy inside, but I don't know how to show my emotions. But Lord knows when I go home, Von's gonna be tired of me. So I'm gonna call y'all back.
And there was a pattern. Old TikToks of hers resurfaced after her death, showing visible injuries, cuts under her eye and on her nose, while she referred to the fact that they always fight. Other allegations that came back around included him biting her hard enough to leave bruising on her face and snatching her wigs off during arguments, which hits different when you remember the wigs were her whole brand. Her audience noticed, and posts circulating online described him as abusive and jealous, with people claiming he was living off her platform and her money while wrestling with his own feelings about who he was attracted to.
And for the people that accuse me of cheating because that earring stuck in my back seat, hold up, y'all. I'm going to bet y'all $500. I'm going to keep that earring right there. I'm going to keep that earring right there till Lala get out. Fucking fools.
Now listen to the way she talked about relationships when she thought she was just venting to her followers late at night, because this is a young girl telling you exactly what she was living with and dressing it as a random opinion.
And just like trash. And what I mean by that, like, I love when a nigga can like reassure me, like, tell me like you don't want nobody else in the world. Maybe I ain't even gonna say I'm delusional, like, bitch, no, tell me that I'm not the girl that you don't want. Like, in a relationship, and like, me personally, being that I'm an overthinker, I love when a man like reassure me, because it's like, I'm not seeing it in a way like I'm insecure or whatever, but I'm seeing it in a way like, if I'm dating you or whatever and I'm in love with you, I'm always worried about what you're doing.
There is another clip going around where she is talking through a normal morning with him, and honestly, it might be the most telling thing in this entire file, because nothing dramatic happens in it at all.
If he blocked me, I'm not supposed to block him back. It's like, he blocked me, I blocked him, like he making it seem like he's something. If he blocked me, I'm not supposed to block him back. Who the fuck do you think I am? And then it's like he want me to take it somewhere, but it's like he woke up with a demon in him. So what y'all think I should do? Should I just get up or just keep laying down? Because if I keep laying down, we're gonna end up fighting regardless. But if I get up, I do a little 1-2. After he said what he was saying, because it's giving like he woke up like 1:08, and it's too early. Oh, thank you, Lord, for waking me up. At least I got a chance to say that. Bro, he takes me right. This boy, he want to fight today, and it's early in the morning. I'm not doing it. I'm not fighting him. It's too early. But yeah, I'm gonna lay that down for another hour. So
She woke up and did the math on whether she was going to get into it that day before she even got out of bed. And she said all of it in the tone of somebody complaining about traffic, which is exactly why so many people scrolled past it laughing. And then there is a video from somebody who says they knew her personally, laying out what allegedly happened while she was locked up. She got out of jail, she broke up with him, she heard what he was saying while on TikTok while she was in jail, and she wanted a better life and a new life. He couldn't accept it. A trans that made him come out gay tried to break up with him. He's like, hold on, you're my first, you're breaking up with me, and it's hard for me to go back street because I went public with you. That same account went further, and this next part is the piece that turns the whole story cold, because if it is accurate, then what happened in November was not the first time. I want to be fair here, because that claim comes from a social media account and not from a police statement, and the Broward Sheriff's Office has not put anything like that out publicly. Treat it as what it is, which is a person close to her saying something serious out loud. But even setting that aside, the documented stuff is already enough. So why did she stay? Because leaving is never as simple as people typing on the internet want it to be. Advocates point out that abusive relationships run on a cycle of manipulation, fear, financial dependence, and love bombing, and that transgender women in particular face a higher risk of intimate partner violence than almost anybody else. And then on the evening of November 14th, 2025, after all of that, after the bruises and the warnings and the comments, she got into his car one more time. Just before 7 in the evening on November 14th, 2025, Broward Sheriff's Office deputies and Broward Sheriff Fire Rescue were sent to the 3300 block of Northwest 37th Street in Lauderdale Lakes, a normal residential stretch in Broward County. When they got there, they found Grillala in the front passenger seat of a vehicle with multiple gunshot wounds, and paramedics rushed her to Broward Health Medical Center, where she was pronounced dead. Broward Sheriff deputies say the 21-year-old was shot and killed inside a car by her boyfriend, Shanoid White Jr., during an argument. Detectives from the BSO homicide and crime scene units worked out fast that this started as a verbal argument inside White's car that turned physical, and a firearm was recovered right there at the scene. White himself told detectives that the two of them had been together for several years. Now, here is where this case separates itself from a normal he said, she said domestic call, and it is the reason the charge came back the way it did. There was a camera. According to descriptions in media reports and posts circulating online, that footage shows White stepping out of the car holding what appears to be a gun, Harrison leaning out of the passenger door, and White walking over and pushing her back inside the car before the shots were fired. She was already trying to get out of that car, had the door open and one foot toward the ground. Somebody had to walk around, reach her, and put her back in. Online discussions also referenced a circulating video showing what happened after the shots, including him pulling her by her hair, which is part of why so many people online pushed back on any idea of self-defense. There is one more detail in the timeline that people keep tripping over, and it is worth being precise about it. The call that brought deputies out there came in as a medical call through Broward County Regional Communications, not as shots fired. The person on Threads who says they were on that block described the same sequence in their own words, and their version lines up with what the reports have been saying. Again, that account is from a social media video and not an official release, so hold it loosely. But the part about him staying put is not in dispute. White was taken into custody at the scene without incident and booked into Broward County Main Jail on first-degree murder with a firearm and premeditated murder.
A chilling new video capturing the moments after a TikTok influencer was shot and killed. The victim's boyfriend, a former college football player, now charged in her. Local 10 Sanella Sabovic live in Fort Lauderdale with the latest on this tragedy. Sanella.
Former college football player, now inmate here at the Broward County Main Jail, charged with first-degree, accused of his girlfriend, and those that knew the couple tell me that they had a tumultuous relationship. New video shows the moments immediately after a transgender TikTok influencer was Friday night. Deputies say at the hands of her boyfriend, 25-year-old Shanoid White Jr. Video from a Tesla captures who appears to be White getting out of the driver's side of a beige sedan along the 3300 block of Northwest 37th Street. The passenger door opens where we're told by relatives the victim, 21-year-old Maurice Harrison, known as Girl La La La, tries to get out. White is seen grabbing her by the hair and putting her back inside before pacing with a cell phone. According to an arrest form, he then calls for help. Broward Sheriff's Office investigators say the pair had been in a relationship for several years. They had a verbal argument in the car Friday that turned physical. Then she was shot. Girl La 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 was taken to Broward Health Medical Center where she. A neighbor who didn't want to show his face on camera describes what his family heard and saw.
My wife heard a shot around 6:50. This whole area was blocked off. Police were on scene. A lot of police were on scene.
I'm real la la la.
She was known for her wigs and social media presence, with nearly 300,000 followers on TikTok and more than 40,000 on Instagram.
Why?
Behind the scenes, friends and relatives say Girl La 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 and White had a tumultuous relationship.
What we leaving for?
White, who played football at Bethune-Cookman during his freshman year, was arrested once before for domestic violence in November of 2022. It's unclear if it's the same victim. The arrest form states he physically and maliciously battered the victim multiple times. Girl La La La's family is too devastated to talk on camera. They do tell Local 10 in statements, "As a family, we appreciate every prayer, kind thought, and gesture during our time of bereavement. Now we are just praying that justice is served to the fullest degree." And sadly, the victim's family has faced tragedy and heartache before. Last August, Girl La La La's brother, Marion Harrison, was killed. As far as White is concerned, again, he is facing a first-degree charge. He did appear in bond court over the weekend where he was denied bond.
The case was assigned to lead investigators Detective L. Bonham and Sergeant P. Reynolds. It is also worth pointing out what that charge actually means in Florida, because people hear first degree and assume it just means bad. First degree premeditated murder means the state is saying he made up his mind to kill her before he pulled the trigger, even if making up his mind only took a few seconds. That is a higher bar than a fight that went too far, and prosecutors do not reach for it unless they believe they can show it. The footage, the recovered firearm, and the sequence of him getting out, walking around, and putting her back in the car are the pieces that get them there. That Sunday, he stood in front of a judge, and it took about 7 seconds for the whole room to understand where this was heading. Investigators framed it as a domestic dispute, and while no formal motive was released, sources pointed towards jealousy and control. One more thing about that footage, because it is going to matter when this goes in front of a jury. The video reportedly came from a Tesla door camera belonging to somebody nearby, and friends of hers are the ones who turned it over to investigators. Authorities have not officially released that footage, and while clips have been referenced online, no official source has confirmed what's publicly circulating. Girl La La La's death was not the first time that family had to plan a funeral behind a gun. When reporters reached out, they were too broken up to sit for an interview and sent a statement instead. The family, too devastated for an interview, tells Local 10, quote, "As a family, we appreciate every prayer, kind thought, and gesture during our time of bereavement. Now we are just praying that justice is served to the fullest degree." The response from the internet was immediate. A GoFundMe titled "For Maurice J. Harrison, aka Girl La La," was set up by family member Chadi Harrison around November 15th for funeral arrangements, and it blew past its $25,000 target, pulling in more than $28,000 from over 500 donors. Rapper JT from City Girls put up $5,000 of that herself. JT also wrote a public tribute on her social media page to her. Rest beautiful Girlalala, we love you and heaven will never be boring now that you are there. Your boldness, energy, humor, and beauty will be missed. Then she went straight at the culture around this stuff. Stop laughing at domestic content. Sometimes we stroll and kiki about very serious things because the person who's telling the story delivers it funny, but nothing is funny about a domestic violence story. Hashtags like Justice for Girlalala and Protect Trans Women started trending, and a lot of the conversation turned towards people still refusing to respect her gender identity even after she was gone. Now hold that thought because the next story flips the whole thing around. Same internet, same comment sections, same instinct to point a finger. Except this time the person everybody pointed at was the one who got out alive. Now we move to Lucas, and the first thing you should know about him is that he was born in France, which almost nobody watching his videos picked up on at first. Lucas Zacharian Coley was born on July 8, 1997, to a French mother and a Senegalese father, and French was his first language. The family moved to the United States when he was around 8 years old, settling first in Austin, Texas for about 2 years, then Detroit, Michigan, where he went through middle and high school, and then San Francisco after that. He talked about all of it openly.
A lot of Africans, from my dad, for example, cause I am. What you mean? But Africans, a lot of Africans, from where I'm from, where Senegal. In Senegal, they move to France, or they go to Michigan and shit like that, or New York, or Atlanta, shit like that. That's why it's you can find a lot of African people. You feel me?
Girl.
Just say New York got a lot of immigrants. Yeah, they got a lot of immigrants.
Everybody got a lot of.
I'm an immigrant, shit. For real. I'm just a legal one.
School was the one thing he never got a handle on. He struggled academically from young, got sent to an alternative school in Detroit over his grades, and barely graduated high school, calling school his main struggle before shifting everything into music. He had been rapping since around 11 years old, and he posted his first Vine on July 9, 2013, going consistent by April 2014. That is where Kid Lucas came from. Bilingual freestyles, English and French mixed together, and it worked well enough that when Vine shut down, he carried the audience straight over to Instagram, YouTube, and SoundCloud. His breakthrough was I Just Wanna in 2016, a viral record with millions of plays, and he kept building from there with projects like Prince of France and tracks like Break Ya Back, Numb, My Lil Shawty, and Feelings, plus group work as part of Ta Diamonds. By the end, he was sitting on 1.2 million Instagram followers and roughly 470,000 YouTube subscribers. People forget how big Vine actually was for kids like him. There was no label, no manager, no budget. You had 6 seconds and a phone. He was posting bilingual freestyles, switching between English and French inside the same clip, which nobody else in his lane was doing, and that is what made people stop scrolling. When the platform shut down in 2017, a lot of Vine stars just disappeared, but he moved the audience over and kept building on Instagram, YouTube, and SoundCloud. His sound was laid-back melodic rap with trap and R&B underneath it, and the bilingual thing stayed part of the brand. He put out mixtapes and projects including Prince of France in 2016, Hottest Tracks Volume 1, I Keep Pushin' Volume 1 in 2017, and Heart in 2018. And he was still dropping music right up to the end with a track called No Comp in August of 2024. Now, let's talk about the woman who ended up carrying the blame for all of it, because you cannot understand what happened in October of 2024 without understanding who she was before any of this started. Amber Harrison, who is commonly known as Amber H., was born in Oklahoma and raised mostly in San Antonio, Texas until around 8 years old, before her family moved west to California and later Nevada. She built her own following first through beauty and makeup content, vlogs, and challenges, with her solo YouTube going back to at least 2017, and even some original music like a track called Pretty Bitches in 2021. And the way they got together is exactly the kind of story their audience ate up. She slid into his DMs in 2015, and he replied that she looked good. Her version of it in her own words on their channel.
I was single. This time I seen him on my Explore page and I clicked on his page and I was like, let me go see if, how him and his girl been looking. So I didn't see not one picture with a girl, so I was like, they might be broken up or, might be single. So I took my shot.
At the time, she was near Los Angeles and Nevada while he was in New York. So for about 2 months, the whole thing lived on FaceTime before they ever stood in the same room. Then he flew out to Los Angeles and she made the drive to meet him. She was terrified.
That first time I met him, y'all, I brought my friend Tay Tay. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I was nervous and she was nervous for me. Like, she didn't make my nervousness go away. Like, it was just like the whole time there on the road, I'm like my stomach hurt. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I was like, gee. I said he's somewhere around here and I'm nervous. And I'm like, let's get behind something so that when he come, wherever he come, I can see him first before he see me, because I'm gonna need to figure out if I'm still ready to do this.
And guess what? I still saw her first.
Oh my God.
They put their anniversary at November 25th, and from that point, it ran roughly 8 to 9 years, which for two people in their 20s is basically the whole adult part of their lives up to then. She has been noticeably more private than he was about family and childhood, and most of what the public knows about her comes from her own videos rather than any interview or profile. What she did put out was personality. Around 2018, they launched the joint channel, and that is when the couple became a brand. The Lucas and Amber channel pulled hundreds of thousands of subscribers off vlogs, challenges, Q&As, pranks, and straight-up arguments. And people tagged it as Black Love because it felt real and a little messy instead of polished. Watch the energy for yourself. This is them doing a spicy noodle challenge, which is about the most harmless thing two people can film.
What the it do, LA crew? It's your girl Amber H.
And it's your boy Lucas Coley.
And we back in this mother lover.
Today, we doing a spicy noodle challenge.
I'm trying not to drink no milk. Oh, I got my ears burning. I'm hot. Baby, come eat. You alright?
You had her flat ironing his hair before a breed appointment while he panicked the entire time about coming out looking like somebody's auntie, and that back and forth is the exact kind of thing their people tuned in for.
This is gonna be hilarious.
You better have me looking like auntie, man.
No, I'm not. And stop saying that. I said there's nothing that you can change about your appearance that'll make me stop loving you. You can be crippled tomorrow and I'm still love you.
That is genuinely sweet, and it's the version of them that people fell in love with. But if you stayed subscribed long enough, the same channel that gave you that also gave you nights that felt completely different.
Nah, it got some nice places, you feel me? But I'm just saying, like, we could go to...
But you're making it seem like I want to go there for something specific.
I don't know and I don't care, but you feel me?
You do.
Because it's going to get like that if I find out.
Amber has described possessiveness and jealousy on his side, and their public content increasingly showed that tension, control, trust issues, and her getting worn out. And once you know how it ended, some of the old footage does not play the same anymore. In one of their lives, the two of them were sitting there roasting each other about how she sleeps.
What are you talking about? With them, you smell like cinnamon.
Oh, my mama.
And cinnamon don't smell good. It smell like red hot spit.
She be sleep like this, y'all.
Red hot spit.
She be
And I don't
sleep like
like the
this
smell
at
of
night.
spit.
She be sleep like this. Wake up.
What are you doing? Where are you going?
That is two people who genuinely liked each other. Nobody performs that for 9 years. But in that same conversation, in that same video, she's also telling him something that lands completely differently now.
Because I'm checking on you.
Good. You remember when we ain't talked for 3 days?
You good?
Oh.
No, we didn't talk for 3 days, and you asked me
No,
what's the login for the rent.
Because I had.
So don't lie and say that I
had
said you good.
3 whole days of not speaking, and then the first thing said was a question about a login for the rent, which tells you exactly what checking on each other had turned into by that point. There's one clip of them talking about having kids where you can hear the actual shape of the problem, and it's not about babies at all. It's about her already knowing there was a limit on how long she could wait.
Who else I'm having? Me, baby. You gonna have kids with Lucas.
But if Lucas don't want to have kids when Amber is ready to have kids,
When do you want kids?
then Amber has to move on with her life.
She said out loud on camera years earlier that if things did not change, she had to move on with her life. And even they knew how the internet was reading them.
Because they already think we toxic. I just want you to know every clip of us on the internet now is so toxic. It's not even funny.
That's cool.
So like, it's not even fucking funny. Like the shit that goes on no more.
People treat jealousy in a relationship like a spice, like it means somebody cares. Watch that clip again with the sound up. She did not accuse him of anything, and he did not accuse her of anything specific either. He just needed her to know, out loud, in front of the audience, that there would be consequences if he ever found something. The joint channel's activity slowed way down after around 2022, with only sporadic appearances after that. The couple everybody had been watching for years quietly stopped posting. Nobody knew what that silence was covering. By the time 2024 came around, the relationship was either over or close enough to over that the difference did not matter to anybody living inside it. The couple had broken up or were in the middle of separating in the period leading into October, and Amber later stated plainly that he could not take the breakup. She has never been vague about the fact that they were done.
When I do, I pray to God. When I do, because me and Lucas were broken up, and I know a lot of headlines keep saying, oh, because his girlfriend broke up with him. We definitely were broken up. Most definitely. It's not a doubt about it. We were not still in a relationship when he passed away.
That is important to get straight because a lot of the coverage got it backwards. The headline said his girlfriend broke up with him, which put the whole weight of it on the breakup like it was one event on one afternoon. What she has described is 9 years of a cycle that finally stopped, not a single decision made in about a week. She has also been clear about why. She has said she had done everything she could over nearly 9 years, that she reached a point where she had to choose her own survival, and that he had made prior threats of unaliving himself, sometimes framed in a way that implied both of them. In her live, she described the loop she had been stuck in for years.
Immediately, because everybody always wanna, oh, Amber, you do the same thing. When he says he's gonna himself, you go right back over there, and then everything is all cool until it's not cool again. Then you go back over there. Then he say he's gonna himself. Then you leave, and then he texts you, everything is all cool, like he's sorry. Then you go back over there. Then it turned into both of us. I ran out of my house bare fucking foot on Monday, but y'all don't know that. Y'all don't fucking know that. Bare fucking feet. I've never had to run away from somebody. Bare fucking feet. I ran to LA. The next day I got back from LA is when it happened.
The pressure on him was not only about her either. He had been open in his music and interviews about personal battles, fame, and emotional lows, and his manager later said the two of them talked about their struggles constantly while keeping a positive face for the audience. Amber has said she stayed through years of that, carrying the weight and holding him up before she hit the point where she could not keep doing it. She framed the end of it not as walking away, but as putting a condition on staying.
It's not about giving up on somebody. It's about making an ultimatum. And that's what it came down to. You either get the help or you get the help. 2 options. Get help or get help.
On or around October 2nd, 2024, Coley posted an Instagram story that said, "I love y'all," with an orange heart on a black background. Nobody read that as goodbye at the time. He was on the phone with his longtime manager, who operates publicly under the name I Discover Stars, moments before, and the manager confirmed that himself. Amber says she was on the phone with him too.
People wanna know what happened. I was on the phone, that's what happened. Add it up. That's what happened. That's the last that I got. When I was on the phone and I heard it, I screamed. I said, no, he did it. I said, Mom, call 911.
He was found at his residence in Las Vegas on October 2nd. Las Vegas Metro handled the initial scene the way any death involving a firearm gets handled, and jurisdiction for cause and manner went to the Clark County Office of the Coroner and Medical Examiner. No signs of anybody else being involved were reported. On October 3rd, the manager posted the news to Instagram, writing that his heart was ripped in half, describing Coley as more of a brother than a client, saying 2024 had been the worst year of his life, and asking people to check on their loved ones. He also said that 2 of them used to talk about their struggles all the time and then turn around and smile for the fans, and he specifically asked people to pray for Amber and give her space. By October 4th, the Clark County Coroner's Office confirmed to multiple outlets that the cause was a single self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, and the manner was ruled as an unaliving himself. He was buried on October 21st at Pleasanton Memorial Gardens Cemetery in Alameda County, California. The manager kept posting after that, pushing fans to stream Coley's music so it could chart the way Coley always wanted, and pointing out he never got radio play and refused to sell out. Peers and collaborators, including Dylan Troy, shared condolences, and the coverage across outlets turned toward mental health in the music and influencer space. Now, here is where the internet did what the internet does. They found somebody to blame, and they picked the woman who was still breathing. Amber faced immediate and heavy harassment, including death threats, with people saying she caused it and that she did not love him enough. She turned off comments and posted messages like, "Y'all don't know the half, leave me alone, let him rest," alongside flowers and an image of a phone. Then she went live and answered every one of them at once.
So for a bitch to be on fucking Twitter, she couldn't get him help? Bitch, I'ma get you help. I'm sad, I'm angry. That's how dare you. How fucking dare you. How dare you. I'm about to be 30. I'm about to be 30. 30. If you don't want the help by now, if you ain't got the help by now, you don't want the help. So don't fault me for choosing myself.
And then she said the one line that shut the entire comment section down, and it is the line people still quote when this case comes up.
Because would you rather be saying R.I.P. to Lucas and Amber?
She was standing there asking every person typing about her whether they would rather be putting rest in peace next to 2 names instead of 1, and nobody had an answer for that. She said something else in that live that a lot of women watching recognized immediately, and it was aimed at anybody sitting in the same situation she had been in.
And I promise. But at some point, when a person is now letting you know they'll take the both of you, baby, you gotta believe him. You have to believe him. or your mom will bury you. She will bury you. When it's now on you, run. Don't run. Don't run to your mama house. Run and hide. Run and hide. Run somewhere he ain't never dropped you off. He ain't never picked you up. Run. This is not to bash Lucas, but this is just to give you a little bit of a light about mental health. He could be the best boyfriend, and in a blink of an eye, you'll see Lucifer. I'm in death. I still can't tell y'all everything he did to me. You know how girls get on here and be so ready to tell it? I can't do that to him. I still can't. I can't tarnish his image like that.
There is one more piece, and it matters because it is the reverse of what a lot of people assumed. After he was gone, Amber went through his phone, and what she found there is what she said gave her the confirmation she needed.
It don't really matter to me. I got the confirmation I need. I seen it. I seen it all. I seen it. I seen it. I seen it. I seen how bitches want to be. They just want to be something. Oh, we were friends, yeah. I see her name. I see every intimate conversation that you probably thought was between you and him. I saw it.
So the headline everybody wants to write, that he found out something about her and could not handle it, doesn't match what the people who were actually there described. The reporting is consistent that the trigger was the end of the relationship and long-running mental health strain, with no other legal, financial, or external crisis reported as a factor. She left. He could not accept that she left, and she was the one who ended up holding a phone that went silent. What she was left with after all of it was not anger, it was exhaustion and a list of things she doesn't get to do anymore. The last case is the one that will sit on your chest the longest, because on paper, these two were doing everything right. Kiana Renee Burns was born on September 15, 1977 in St. Louis, Missouri, raised by her mother Renee Reed with stepfathers Carlton Graham and Patrick Rico White in the picture, and her father listed as Tony Reed. She came up through the Riverview Gardens School District, graduated from Riverview Gardens High School, then went and got a cosmetology degree. That degree turned into Critique Designs Beauty and Barber Salon, which she ran for close to 25 years and became a real staple in the St. Louis area. Her husband, Rennell Dwight Burns, was born on May 14, 1975, also in St. Louis, to Regina and Darlene Burns, and he grew up in the Vaughn housing projects downtown. He graduated from Vashon High School in 1994 and was part of a state championship basketball team there, and there's no record of him going to college after that. He went straight to work instead and built about 25 years in insurance and financial services, founding Legacy Financial Solutions.
Me and Callie, baby, we're going back to our old days. Pyro love, baby. Oh! The music going out because he's leaving.
We got our music, but we can.
We out here. We dancing in our head. We got the music in our head. Party time.
Go ahead.
Hey, 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 hey.
He grew up around family. His parents were Regina and Darlene Burns, with a stepmother, Martha, later in the picture, and he came up alongside a long list of siblings, including Rashonda, Clarence, Reginald Jr., Latasha McGill, Tionda Valentine, Yolanda Jackson, and John Torrance. Reports describe him committing to Christianity young and starting to minister to people around him before he was anywhere near a pulpit. So the faith part wasn't a costume he put on later, it was there from the jump. What changed over the years was what he attached it to. Rennell already had a mess behind him. His first marriage to Avis Burns fell apart on television on an episode of Divorce Court that aired around 2013,
where she accused him of cheating, poor communication, and wrecking her credit, while he came back with claims about her own online behavior.
She was telling me when we got back home, I have a 7-year-old daughter that's not with her, that live with her. But she was telling me to find a babysitter for my 7-year-old daughter. I'm like, what we need a babysitter? You're a stay-at-home mom in my head. But I'm like, okay, maybe she want to get out with the girls or whatever. But I read this Facebook, she trying to get me to get a babysitter so she can go over some guy's house. And when I read all this, I'm like, what's going on? She's like, oh, I'm just going over the guy's house. We weren't going to do nothing. I'm like, you going to his house to play bingo? You going to play spades? Because, you don't need to go to his house to do that.
That is a specific kind of embarrassment, and he turned it into his testimony. He rebranded through church and came back as a pastor and motivational speaker whose whole message was that God can rebuild anybody. He and Kayana married on September 13th, 2012, blending their families into a household of 8 children: Raya Burns, Ronell Jr., Riley Burns, Makai Combs, Ray Haley Burns, Jaicha Martin, Mariana Reed, and Rayon Burns, with 1 grandchild, Malaya Salek. Kayana did not stop at hair either. She worked as an insurance agent with Primerica, which is going to matter a lot later, and her Instagram bio leaned all the way into the boss branding, mixing business tips with family posts to about 14,000 followers. She was a mother of 3 from before the marriage: Makai Combs, Jaicha Martin, and Mariana Reed, and she became a grandmother while all of this was going on. Then they went to work on the brand. Together, they ran For His Glory Ministries, a faith-based organization built around restoration and God's love in spite of your flaws. They also co-founded Six Figure Ambition, a coaching operation promising to teach regular people how to get to 6 figures, and they pushed it through networking events and council inductions. They even shot a pilot for their own reality show.
If you need insurance, Ronell is the man. If you need your hair done, Kiana is grand. Together 8 children, Shazam! Meet the Burns.
America, you ain't gonna wanna miss this. Full of action, impact. We talking big business. We talking about big family. Meet the Burns. So we help families, we change lives, we impact our community. Big family, big business.
Big family, big business. That was the whole pitch, and people bought it. The salon, the insurance work, the ministry, the coaching, a Maserati in the pictures, family vacations, scripture in the captions.
This man outdid himself this time, baby. Check my new baby out. Check her out, y'all. That's that Levante. That's that Maserati truck. Y'all heard that engine? Yeah, he did this. Yeah. God is good. Thank you.
Ronell could preach, and I mean actually preach. In a 2018 Facebook Live that Kayana shared, he was up there talking about finding peace inside a storm by calling on the name of Jesus.
I'm not qualified to go do it. And one of the things that he thought he wasn't qualified because of things that in your past. See, all of us have a past. And sometimes your past try to keep you from your future. Yes. God's trying to take you somewhere else, but you still saying, well, God, I ain't qualified to do what you told me to do because I ain't been doing what you told me to do. Well, at some point, something got to change. Look how foolish I ain't qualified to do what you called me to do because I ain't been doing what you told me to do.
That was the product. 2 people who had both been through something public and embarrassing, standing up in front of a room telling everybody that God is not finished with you yet. And that message works because it is true for a lot of people. The problem is what happens when the people selling it need it more than the audience does. Almost none of what they were selling was standing on real ground, and you do not have to take anybody's word for that because the paperwork spells it out. On December 19, 2019, the couple filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy, selling off roughly $20,000 worth of what they owned to wipe out over $500,000 in debt, built up from overspending and failed ventures. Analyses of the case describe Ronell leaning heavily on Kayana's salon income to fund his own initiatives, with her business being about the only piece that actually held weight. The Meet the Birds pilot never launched, and after all that, they moved into a rented 5-bedroom house in Sandy Springs and presented it online as if they owned it. That move happened around May or June of 2021, 5 to 6 months before the end, and the reason given was expanding the businesses into a bigger market. Kayana explained it herself, and you can hear that it was already heavier than she was letting on.
For those that don't know, about 5-6 months ago, my husband and myself, we moved to Atlanta to expand our business. Still have the beauty and barber salon in St. Louis, Missouri. Y'all know, I'm telling you guys, like, the transition, it wasn't necessarily a smooth one. It wasn't a hard one either, but it was something that we chose to do. And when you come to a new state or city and you're trying to learn people and you're trying to learn, you know, the things that they do, and that could be challenging. And coming here with our kids, just us and our kids, you know, it's just us, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got nobody. We can't drop the kids off at our kinfolk's house. We can't go, you know. So right now my husband is, you know, at a retreat. I stayed back due to because we have our children here.
Read between those lines. 8 kids, a brand new city, no grandmother down the road or cousin who can grab the kids for a couple hours, and her husband is away at a retreat while she holds all of it by herself. You have to appreciate the size of the gap here. They were running a coaching program teaching strangers how to reach 6 figures while sitting on more than $500,000 in discharged debt from their own failed ventures. They were posting the Maserati. One caption from May of 2020 said, "My life is unbelievable." And in a way, it was, just not the way anybody reading it thought. Meanwhile, the marriage itself was falling apart. Reports describe mutual infidelity, with Ronell repeating the pattern from his first marriage and Kayana starting an affair after the move. On October 19, 2021, they filed for divorce. Ronell talked about it publicly in a video that has since been taken down, and the way he told it was almost businesslike.
And as we sat in the truck and we said, hey, you know what, if we're going to get a divorce, let's be civil. You know, we got kids, we got businesses. We said, well, let's just sit down and just talk about how this all going to work out. Meaning from a business aspect. We didn't talk about why we should stay together. You know, we love each other. None of that conversation was being had. We was done with each other. And so all we talked about, we said, okay, well, listen. We done with each other. We both came to that conclusion, but let's not impact everybody's life that's around us because we just decided we don't want to be together no more. Let's not do that. So I said, let's have a conversation. And we took out a piece of paper, we drew a line down the middle of it, and we talked about how the business was going to go, how we was going to divide the business. And she go her way and I go my way, but we didn't want to compromise and jeopardize everybody else's future because we was tripping. Let's not destroy our businesses. Let's not tear each other's name down. Let's not do none of that because there's kids, there's family members, there's moms and everything that we plan on retiring one day. And just because we decided we don't like each other no more, we're going to forfeit all that. We're going to mess up that for everybody. No, we got to figure out a way how we can work together, be divorced, go our separate ways. Know at some point we're going to get remarried to somebody else, but keep sustaining what we promised the people that's dependent on us.
He said they came out of that day deciding to stay together after all, framing it as God changing their hearts, and he preached it from the pulpit as a victory. One day after that divorce filing, on October 20th, his wife went live by herself and gave a very different version. The first thing she said when she came on was that this is not even something she normally does, which is how you know it was serious.
Now, y'all know I don't be doing this Facebook Live stuff. I just felt the need to hop on here for just a moment, not long at all, and kind of just talk about, you know, life changes.
Then she got around to what she really came on there to say, and she said it twice in 2 different ways, like she was trying to make it land.
If you don't stay prayed up and you don't keep faith, things can swivel in and take you out. It wasn't necessarily a smooth one. It wasn't a hard one either, but it was something that we chose to do. And when you come to a new state or city and you're trying to learn people and you're trying to learn, you know, the things that they do, and that could be challenging. Things in your life can change for the good or the bad overnight, literally. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't feel like you're a strong enough individual, some things may take you out.
And then she stopped talking about other people entirely.
I have some very positive people that's on my timeline, and they help me through my gloomy days, because yes, I do have them. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, if I'm being totally, perfectly honest, I'm having one right now. And the reason I'm going live is because sometimes you got to reach out and tell people that you need love, you need support, you need care, you just need a hug. And honestly, you guys, I need that. I need that right now. I mentor so many women. I encourage so many women. I pump life and positivity in so many women. But sometimes I need that myself. And God knows right now, I need that, you all.
And then she closed the whole thing out with the part that people still cannot sit through all the way to the end without feeling something because of what came 17 days later.
Hey everybody, what's up, Roy? What's up, y'all? I'm just saying, like, you got to get to the point where you got that love circle that's going to support you no matter what, that's going to be there for you no matter what, that's going to be able to help you and talk you through things that you feel like you just can't get through. Because if we leave things to ourselves, we start thinking to ourselves and we start making bad decisions. But you gotta have somebody. I always say, if I'm not around people that can help me stretch, I'm not around the right type of people. You gotta have people that's around you that's not yes men, people that's gonna help you think, people that's gonna help guide you to positivity, to greatness, to things you really need to do and be in life. And that's what I want around me. It's a lot of people that I used to hang with, and I love them to death and love their souls, but they're not where I want to be. They're not. It's places I want to be in life. It's things I want to do. And I've just decided for myself that I'm going to figure out a way to get around those people. Because every day, Kiana want to keep growing. And you should too. You guys, I'm asking you one thing, because I really need it right now. I need prayer. I need prayer. I need strength. I need love. I do. Stay encouraged. I'm going to go in my home, go in my little prayer room. I'm going to talk to God. Y'all pray for me.
She also said something in there about the kind of people you keep around you, and looking back, it reads like she already knew who she was surrounded by.
Because if we leave things to ourselves, we start thinking to ourselves and we start making bad decisions. But you gotta have somebody. I always say, if I'm not around people that can help me stretch, I'm not around the right type of people. You gotta have people that's around you that's not yes men, people that's gonna help you think, people that's gonna help guide you to positivity.
3 days later, on October 23rd, she posted again about coming out of what she called a nightmare and asking for strength. That was 14 days before it happened. On the morning of November 6th, 2021, she posted a video of herself dancing with one of the children.
That evening, shortly before 9, an argument in the Sandy Springs home escalated and Kayana, 44, shot Ronell, 46, before unaliving herself. One of the daughters called 911 to report a domestic situation, and neighbors reported hearing shouting and then gunshots. Sandy Springs police found both of them dead from gunshot wounds. Sergeant Salvador Ortega confirmed the classification as a murder followed by the shooters unaliving herself, stating that no one else was in the home at the time of the shootings. There was no note and no publicly confirmed motive beyond the accumulated pressure, and there was no prior record of domestic violence between them. The children were not present, which spared them from seeing it, but not from any of the rest of it. 8 children woke up that morning with 2 parents in the house and went to sleep that night with none, and every single one of them was under the age of 18.
Glass of wine, please.
Sis.
For my cousin. Celebrating
Video.
8 years.
8 years.
8 years together, 6 years married. In the hot tub in LA.
That's right, baby.
With our best friends and our family.
Yay.
Celebrating with us. Here's to 8 years of putting up with me.
Oh, love y'all too. Look at me, I love y'all too.
In the Gilalala case, there is a man in a jail cell facing first-degree murder and video that purportedly shows him pushing her back into a car. In this one, the woman who pulled the trigger is also the woman who went live begging for help and got nothing back. There was no history of violence between them on record, which is exactly why nobody around them saw it coming. Friends afterwards described the two of them as selfless, loving, and caring people. Both things are true at the same time, and that is the hardest part of this whole case to sit with. Then the paperwork started, and the paperwork got strange. Kayana and Ronell held Primerica life insurance policies naming each other as primary beneficiaries, with a rule written in saying you only get paid if you outlive the person the policy covers. 30% went out uncontested to their mothers, Darlene Burns and Antoinette Reed, but the other 70% turned into a federal fight. The problem was that nobody could agree who died first. Media reporting based on police statements said Kayana shot Ronell and then herself, but the death certificates had Kayana dying first, which is the exact opposite order. That contradiction matters because of what lawyers call Slayer statutes. Both Missouri and Georgia have laws that stop anybody from collecting insurance money on a death they caused. So the order of death decided who got the money. Primerica took the whole thing to federal court on March 2, 2022 in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri, case number 4:22 CV260-CDP, basically handing the money over to the court and telling both families to fight it out in front of a judge. The defendants were both estates, both mothers, Ronell's brother Reginald and his daughter Rayon, and Kayana's daughters Mariana Reed and Jaicha Martin. The Ronell side argued he survived her and moved to use the Slayer statutes against the Kayana side, and also counterclaimed against Primerica itself. The judge threw out those claims against Primerica on October 13, 2022, and then on November 4, 2022, threw out the claims the two families had filed against each other, closing the case without ever publicly saying who got the money. Kayana herself had worked as a Primerica agent, which means she sold the exact kind of policy that ended up splitting her own children's families apart. So the children were left in a situation where the money their parents left behind was tied up in a legal argument about which parent stopped breathing first. As for where those 8 kids ended up, nothing has been made public. No guardianship records, no custody updates, no interviews, nothing through 2026. Their funeral program carried poems from the children, including one written by Mariana and one read by Rayon. Every one of these stories told us what was happening while it was happening, out loud, on camera, in public, on the same platforms we were already scrolling through. Nobody had to dig for any of it. The only thing missing in all 3 of these stories was somebody on the other side of the screen who actually heard it and did something about it before it was too late. Now, if you've never left a comment on any story I've shared on this channel, this is the one I'd love to hear your thoughts on. Your comment could help another mother, another family, or someone facing a similar situation.